Hello, hello.
I am so unhappy.
I'm sorry,
I'm
Josh.
glad to hear that.
All I ever wanted was a Wednesday night off. Is that so much to ask for?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't get stuck at home.
You could have.
Well, guess I could have.
Bad thing is I have not read like anything this past
I know
weekend.
nothing.
Crap, I tell you. It has just been garbage. Every single aspect of it. Almost every single. I mean, not to delve into the realms of hyperbole, but it sucked. So yeah, I haven't read shit.
I wouldn't worry. I think the viewers are going to turn on the stream, see this cast, and have very diminished
Run
expectations.
fucking hills.
Run away!
Don't worry, Josh. However bad it was, it's only the second worst thing to happen to you.
The first
The
is
worst
I got
hasn't happened
married.
yet. Oh. Third.
Oh. Okay, what's the worst thing that's happened to me?
It ain't happened yet.
Oh,
It'll only happen once.
Death. True. Only happens once, and it's the last thing I get to experience. I'm very excited about that.
That type of week.
Shit's getting real here. Jeez. All right. What? I thought I saved these last time. Why aren't they?
I thought you did too.
I thought I did. Apparently, I didn't.
I'm wearing a vest.
I like your vest.
Vest.
Oh shit! I'm not
Soft
recording.
vest.
Damn it, Josh.
The vest that says West.
It is the vest that says West.
Best vest from the
25
West.
years, but now it's like 28.
Damn, I might have to pull off the back of video just to have that for a thumbnail, Josh.
Oh, blah 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 in the chat.
Oh.
That's low. That is low. I mean, we're the B team. We're the alternates, sort of. But the female Ghostbusters, come on, man.
Let's make a podcast, except all women.
Let me get my makeup. I'm sure I'll be
You know,
very
it's
convincing.
it makes me mad. I'm gonna get on a little. Well, it doesn't make me mad, but it's annoying. It's like, okay, we're gonna take something established, but we're gonna change all the characters around because it's kind of the woke thing to do. It's like, why are you doing a disservice to the people acting in that they have to react with their own kind of, flair, things that have already been done. I mean, I didn't really the original Ocean's 11 with the Rat Pack was pretty fantastic by itself. The second one was interesting, but it wasn't anything fantastic. And now we've got a third iteration with all the women. But it's really funny because I just watched today a trailer that looked really damn funny. It was, what is it? The spy who dumped me. It's got Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon, and it looks hilarious. And it's new IP. It's characters that they get to develop themselves and do something other than trying to add on or make something different. It's just be creative.
Yeah.
Do something new. But
Exactly.
Hollywood is not about new. They like to reuse as much shit as possible.
This
and they're
IP
doing a
worked
disservice
before.
for these actors and actresses.
This IP worked before. Obviously, it'll work again. We just need a hook. Let's think of something and just redo it. Like,
Yeah.
everything is number 2 or number 3 or a remake of something that we watched 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
It's just everything.
Not watch it.
It's just the old saying, everything old is new again. We'll just recycle it over and
Okay,
over
Battlestar
and over.
Galactica.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Of course, I'm not wrong. I'm Josh Tech. I'm right.
And you?
We
You're
got
always
beer.
right.
I've got attitude.
But you can't
By
do
the
the hair
way,
flip.
Kate, aka Xmas, she's in the hospital in a insulin drip.
Yep.
Doesn't sound like she's having a good time. She says hi to everyone in the IRC channel.
Oh man,
That sucks.
yeah.
With special
Yeah.
attention to Dapple.
I don't know who
We
Dapple
don't
is.
see.
I don't See him on there.
Not yet.
All right. Well,
Oh, we forgot to send out the email.
Womp womp.
Oh,
Well, if that's the worst thing or that's the only thing that goes wrong tonight, then we're doing all right.
someone
We'll be
just said
setting
the
the record.
original BSG sucked, and I'm going to go and have a fight with somebody because that
Yep.
was really after
You
Star
are
Trek. It
sassy
was
tonight, Josh.
It has been a long week, and it's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
This is me venting.
Okay.
I like
I'm venting
sassy
like a
Josh.
wind.
Yeah, I'm just whatever. I mean, giving the audience what they
At the
want.
time, it was $1 million per episode. In 1977, 78, that was unheard
Yep.
of.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the only top 20 TV show to ever be canceled because it was just too expensive to produce at the time.
That was the one
They
with
had good
Wookiees, right?
stories. They had good characterizations. Yes, it was the 70s. So there were some super 70s moments
Interesting
in there.
things.
But it was pretty good. And I did enjoy the second BSG quite a bit. It was a good series. They made it gritty. Did that whole early 2000s things, take something and make it gritty. Do some of those snapshots with the cameras and the wavy cams with the spaceships and anyway.
Make up a swear word.
Frack, yeah. No, well, I think they said frack.
As opposed to
In the
Frel
original.
or what else was there back then? Because that was sort of the thing. All of those shows had one or two little words that they'd swear and get past the old 2000 censors.
Anyway,
Edgy guys.
Well, let's start this Goram show.
All right, so how are we gonna play this? Jim, are you gonna lead with the anchor and run it, or
I mean, yeah. Do you guys want me to like handle the logistical stuff and kind of just like be the MC, and then you guys can take over the content when you want?
well, do you know why you should do that?
Why, Josh?
Because you've got the smooth jazz voice.
I do.
Josh, what do you think about that Corsair 1600 XI digital?
Well, now you put pressure on me, man. Jeez. Okay, fine.
That's what we're here for.
All right. Let's see how many viewers we can lose tonight.
That's the spirit.
you got your and see your laptop? Do you got your tabs open for it already?
Yes.
He's got his tabs open.
Hey, it's hard to look cool when you caught with your tabs down.
Yeah.
Is it set up so that I should have it full screen? Is that how it's? Yeah, it looks like it's all right there. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we do a full screen. Sometimes the title bar's there. It doesn't really matter.
Do you want me to try to?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
If you full screen, then you're like trying to chase tabs down. It's no good.
All right. And what show is this? This is 492.
And I think we're RX bar tonight, right?
We're what? We're porn stars tonight. Sure. Why not?
No, RX bars. These are great. I look. They need to be outside of the office because they keep eating them.
Oh, wait a minute. I need a way to look
Can I
at
be a porn
the
star tonight?
notes.
Yes, Josh.
I mean, Stormy Daniels is making all kinds of waves right now.
And what did you do?
Is there any way?
You don't have the
that's not gonna work.
130K though.
What
sorry.
did you do?
Is there any way that I can see the notes without? I'm still looking at the tabs I need to look at.
get a second DC?
1 second. Can you grab my laptop?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I?
Can you grab my laptop, Alex? It should be pretty well charged.
Famous last words.
Well, I'll keep it out of frame.
Why? Is there a good picture on the back or something?
It's a MacBook.
Oh.
How much money did Stormy get sent? 150G? I'd keep shut up for that.
I thought she was 130G, and it's the new one that's pissed because the Inquirer wouldn't give her the 150G.
I don't know.
It's the second one now, but
All right, how's that look in the shot, Alex? Good. Can't even see it. Can't
Gosh,
even
you're
see
so
my
good.
my
Look at you,
my Lenovo.
Jim. You're a handsome man.
You have incredibly low standards. But I'm flattered.
You know what?
Please
set
tell
your
me you're not
standards
learning
low,
this just now.
and you don't meet them.
I'm sorry?
You did that. That's the best advice my brother ever gave
I
you.
couldn't hear you. You and Jeremy simultaneously spoke.
Yeah, I know. But my brother advice gave me: set your standards low, and don't meet them.
Oh, okay. That's I'm on track.
I guess that's
Doing
a
great
happy
then.
life.
I'm doing great then. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready
I don't know.
For what?
for this? Whatever
No,
this will
I'm
be.
not ready at all. I'm so far behind. I think I'm ahead.
Why don't you just go ahead and just toss that back, Josh? Let's get you.
There you go. Wing it.
It's good stuff. Here, Jeremy, have you tried this stuff yet?
Now I got to. How does Ryan open the show?
Alaskan Baltic Porter?
It's good.
I like my
It's got
Russian
everything
porters.
you possibly could ever want in a porter.
I see
Even
vanilla
brown
beans. and-
sugar makes me feel so good.
You'd be bouncing in a few minutes. Cherries?
Cherries. Porter
Okay.
brewed with cherries, brown sugar, vanilla beans, and oak chips. So it's got a good little woody character. You can, get the tartness of the cherries. The brown sugar mellows it out. And the vanilla beans make it taste like heaven.
All that 9.5% too, right?
Close. 9.8.
Ah,
It's going to be a hot time in the town tonight, Jim.
I'm ready for it.
All right.
You
Fool
ready?
to dream. I also do not like shit in my beer. That sounds disgusting.
Okay.
Deep breath and relax.
I'm going to be held responsible for this.
Yeah. Good luck. Break a leg.
All right.
it's okay. Ryan
I'll shut
never
up
watches the show.
And lets you do the
Okay.
intro.
Everything rolling? You recording? You good? Good.
Let me
Good?
clear
Okay.
my voice. Let me clear my throat. Me. You. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to do a little intro before I do the regular intro, just to keep everyone on the same page. Okay. 3, 2. Okay, guys. Welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. Let me just start by saying, that cliche scene in the movies where the team's in the Super Bowl, the underdog team, and their last string quarterback goes down with injury, and Tom Landry looks to the stands and says, "You." Well, I'm the guy they find going through the dumpster in the stadium parking lot when that guy says no. I'm Jim Tanis. Welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast, episode 492, being recorded March 21st, 2018. And we're going to just try to get through this.
Say Jim Tanis again, and then we'll switch over to the next person.
Jim Tanis again.
I'm Josh Walrath, and Jeremy's going to be pissed.
That's okay. I was in the dumpster. That's what he was looking for. I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
Yep. So as you notice, this is
We
a little
got one
bit...
other person here.
Oh, we do. Alex, our very
Alex, show
trustworthy
yourself. You've got
camera
a feed.
operator. He dug himself out of a
Alex.
snowstorm.
He braved it all. Oh, you're
Braved it
muted.
all. I was muted because you don't want to hear me go on record. Yes, we did get a lot of snow here, and we ventured out into the wild winter land. That
Dude,
should
you
be-
got Yamazaki 12?
I see Yamazaki 12 back there.
Oh,
That's not for the lowly people like me. That's for the boss man. I don't touch that.
He doesn't appreciate it. Just feed
Oh, I
him
appreciate
rye.
it, but I'm not gonna touch it. I'm drinking the cheap stuff.
can't touch this. Do. Can't touch Yamazaki. Jim, take it over.
Okay, so yes, so it is a little bit of a different crew tonight. Nobody's here. Ryan's on a personal trip. Ken, I think, is at GDC. Alan was supposed to be here, but his plane got delayed, and then he got sick. So I think he's vomiting in a Delta Airlines flight somewhere over Kansas right now. So this is what you got, and we're going to make a show of it. So thanks for joining us. We do record every Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can find the podcast if you want to watch live at pcper.com/podcast. And if you want to join us in the chat, you can do so there as well. We have a live chat at the site every night. And again, pardon me as I go through this. I'm not used to hosting this show. If you want to know when we go live for the podcast or for our special events that we hold on occasion, make sure to join up to our live mailing list. You can do this at pcper.com/subscribe. We use this only to notify you when we're about to go live. We don't sell it. We don't use it for marketing. You won't receive anything else through that email except for a notification when we're going to have a show, although we forgot to do it tonight, so don't hold that against us. And
no Yamazaki for you.
Yeah, right. You know, I saw Ryan mixing that with Fresca the other day, so we're going to have to talk about that.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
He was mixing Yamazaki with Fresca.
I'm kidding you.
However you like
You
it,
might
as
as
much
well
as it
just
pains
go
me
and
to say it.
marinate on the Pietà.
Ryan has excellent tastes in alcoholic beverages.
Pour it out, replace it with Jack Daniels, and let him go.
Yeah.
Well, and if you want to help support the cast so that the organization can hire better people to host when Ryan's not available, you can go to patreon.com/PCPer and help support us there. I mean, look, the economics of websites has changed, folks. Advertising isn't what it used to. Ad blockers are a thing. If you like what we do, you want to help us out, go over there and consider checking that out for us. We'd really appreciate it. Now, normally, if you do become a patron or increase your pledge during the show, Ryan gets a notification and he will read out your name or whatever hilarious or disturbing message you put in the name field. We can't do that tonight because those go straight to Ryan, but he's.
But you know, he actually is reading them right now to himself.
Yes, he's out with his buddies and he's got his phone.
He's like, hey guys, with the 15 people at the table, guess who just subscribed to our Patreon?
Yeah. Exactly, and he has promised me that he will tell whoever he's with what comes through. So this is your opportunity. We won't know what's happening here. But please, this is the time where you have a chance to traumatize Ryan Shroud and his friends and family.
If this is the gang that I think it is, he will definitely be reading them out.
Yep. So you have a high bar to meet if you're going to do this. You got to really just get awful. Just get awful in that. I mean, take care of that. But yeah, check that out. Patreon.com/PCPer. Thank you for that. Let's jump into the merchandise. Yes.
Don't forget the merch, man.
We do after years of requests. We've got
merchandising.
Exactly. Teespring.com/store/PCPer. We've got an array of t-shirts, everything from the logo to the Death Wish Raid, hot dog down a hallway. That's a favorite. A nice little mug, sweet, sweet lemonade. All of your favorite slogans from like 4 or 5 years ago. We got them fresh to order, and every purchase helps support us. So if you're looking for something like that, check it out over there. All right, moving into some of the content, our weekly mailbag. This is our weekly Q&A show where somebody, usually Ryan, although Josh and Alan do some shows as well, they take 20 minutes or so every week and they answer your questions. And so last week was Ryan, and he has some good stuff in there about why are GPUs not socketed like a CPU? Why do we have to buy PCs through middlemen? Like, why can't we just buy straight from the ODMs? Questions about upcoming Ryzen processors, the GeForce Partner Program. That's controversial.
You know, it's so odd that you know so much about these mailbags, Jim.
Yes, it is. I stalk every member of the office. I work out of a van in the parking lot.
And come on, somebody's got to check those bags for problems.
I was wondering who was going through my thongs.
Well, I washed them for you, Josh. You really need to work on that. And so anyway, check that out at our website or at the YouTube channel. And we've got a new mailbag coming up on Friday. I think we do it every Friday morning. And Josh will be this week. And he is very unhappy right now. So the questions he answers tomorrow for the Friday show will be fun. So don't forget to check that out. And if you want to ask a question, leave a comment on the YouTube video or at the website for the post on the video. All right. Moving right into news. We've got a review from Alan of the My Digital SSD. Now, Alan was supposed to be here. Like I said, he's ill and delayed So we're not going to go into too much detail here. We're going to save the meat of this for next week when he's going to be able to talk to us about it. But
really, are we going to save the meat? Because this is honestly actually one that I read because it was interesting.
Oh, well then, by all means, I just expected you to be completely unprepared.
This is your digital SSD, Josh.
Take it away,
it's
Josh.
My digital SSD. So here's the thing. It's I think it's got that Phison controller, right? Right. Here's the deal.
Yeah, correct, sir.
Here is the deal, man. The deal is it is 2 lanes of PCI Express, not 4 of the standard, what we see in M.2. It's still an M.2 form factor, but it's only got 2 lanes. So what 2 lanes gives you is lower bandwidth, but also lower power. And the Phison E8 controller, it runs at a lower wattage. So you're saying this is a more efficient storage thing, and you're mostly right, because those things are, they sip power. The performance is not shabby, but it's not fantastic because you're giving up half of the bandwidth, and I believe it is still TLC memory on that thing?
Yes.
Yeah, and so it's not real fast. It does okay throughout the testing. And for the price that you're getting these things for, they're pretty decent. But where you're, again, seeing the best is price and power. Say, for instance, the Western Digital Black is going to outperform this. But it's going to be a little bit more expensive. The Samsung 960 EVO, it's going to outperform this quite a bit. See, look at that graph. Look at that sequential read on the EVO versus BPX ones. Significantly higher. But you're also going to pay a whole lot more for that, $50 to $70, depending on what day it is. So this is kind of a middle ground. It's to get people into M.2 and to get pretty good densities across the thing. And it's look, the 512 gig is at 29 cents a gigabyte, getting closer to that 10 cents. So this is it's a nice product that you will find at 150 at probably the max, because that's their kind of MSRP. It can go down sale sometime, maybe after a few months, and you'll get it for less, like everything. But yeah, it's cheaper than 960. It's cheaper than the 860 EVO, which is a SATA over M.2. And so you're going to get better performance than the M-SATA stuff. You're going to get better prices than the 4-lane M.2. And you've got a whole range of capacities to look at. 128, 256, 512, 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte's not horrifically priced. 318, and I imagine you'd find that at 300 to 285 online somewhere after these are released. So this is a nice step up from SATA drives, less expensive than full 4x PCIe lanes with M.2, and they've struck kind of a nice balance in price and performance. Warranty, 5 years. That's pretty significant for any kind of drive anymore. And you can see on the thing, the endurance is really good, especially up at the 1 terabyte. So what 800 terabytes written? It's not terrible. I imagine that's that's kind of the low end. Like when Tech Report went to writing the wind out of all of their SSDs, and they found them riding significantly above all of that. But then, they had cells that degraded and finally were taken out of service and replaced by stuff that was, in the background that were kind of reserve. So yeah, these are probably conservative, writing numbers. Anyway, I got a gold award. Alan seemed to like it. really just pay attention to the market. I mean, every once in a while, those Western Digital Blacks go down around the price of these My Digital SSD SPXs. So maybe pick one of those up if you see it, but otherwise, it sets a really nice baseline. They're efficient products. They're pretty fast. They're going to be faster than any SATA drive out there. So keep that in mind when you're looking for new storage. How was that? Was that okay?
That was excellent, Josh.
No, it sucked because I didn't go into details of the testing like Alan would, and I didn't talk for 30 minutes.
But it's not 8 o'clock yet, so.
Oh, don't worry about it. Nobody reads any of the details of Alan's articles. They just go straight to the end of the article. See that gold award, and they know.
Yep. Gold award.
So great choice for a budget M.2 build. Very, very cool. And if Alan feels that Josh's explanation was inadequate, he will fill us in on any other details next week. But that sounded pretty good. Looks like a very interesting product, and good to see that price competition continuing to drive prices down on M.2. All right. Next up is something I wrote. This was a short piece. We got a drive-in from CalDigit. It's the Tough drive for their rugged, outdoor kind of extra durable product line. And when I saw this, if you've ever used, I think there's a company called LaCie which kind of markets their products towards Mac users primarily, but they've for years had a rugged external hard drive that looks very similar to this. It's a 2.5-inch form factor, an orange bumper. And I saw this drive and I thought, oh, this is just a ripoff of that. But this is unique in that in addition to shock and dust protection that the LaCie drive offers, this offers waterproofing. There's a silicone bumper around the whole thing, and there's a plug that closes off the sorry. Alex is giving me cues. I need to keep scrolling. I cannot multitask. So there's a plug that covers the USB-C port. So it's a USB-C drive. It comes in hard drive and solid state options up to 2 terabytes. And the one we looked at was a 2 terabyte hard drive model. And it's a nice little drive. And we decided we have to test this. They say it's for rugged use. It's for people on job sites, photographers hiking mountains and stuff. We got to put this through its paces. And so we threw it in a bucket of water. And amazingly,
action scene.
Yeah. And this is photographic evidence of me being an idiot, because on my desk there, I was trying to shoot the picture as well as put the drive in the water. And so I just kind of threw it from behind the camera, and it splashed all over my desk, right next to some electronics. So I got a good shot, but wasn't worth it.
Get you an assistant.
Yes. So shock protection was fine. We threw the drive around. Drives like this that do shock protection, that's not new, and it held up for that. But the submersion test, we put it under there. It's supposed to be able to withstand 1 meter of submersion for up to 30 minutes. We didn't have a container that was big enough for me to put it under 1 meter of water. Because surprisingly,
do you have a trash can in there, or is it one of the mesh trash cans?
We do have trash cans, but they were I didn't have anything to fill them with. And
they were full of McDonald's wrappers from Alan, right?
Well, they were, and I could have emptied them.
You could have.
Although he did go to
How many
Skyline.
meters of ketchup and burger juice?
Well, not enough. Close, but not enough. And so we couldn't test the 1 meter. So I guess that needs to be noted. But I did put it in this plastic drawer full of water, and I left it there because I forgot about it for well over an hour. It was supposed to be, it's supposed to last half an hour. It was in there for close to 2 hours, I would bet. And then I went, oh crap, and pulled it out, let it dry, and it worked just fine. It's important to note though that protection isn't intended to be something that that is its normal use. Like you shouldn't go to the pool and toss this underwater and let it hang off the cable and just use it underwater. It's more of a safeguard, because when I opened it up, there's multiple layers of gaskets and adhesives and things to kind of keep it sealed. But some water did start to seep in, and getting it back together is going to compromise its waterproof characteristics. So this is like this is a fail-safe. This isn't meant as an intended use case, which I think most people understand, but it needs to be said. But the drive performed fine for a hard drive. It comes with both USB-C and USB-C to A cables. No difference in those cables. 130, 140 megabytes per second of sequentials. So a very nice, fast drive. The only thing is it's pricey. It is significantly priced, priced significantly higher than other 2 terabyte hard drives, external hard drives. So you are paying for that protection. The hard drive model at 2 terabytes is $179.99. The 1 terabyte SSD model is $450. If you're just looking for an external drive, you can get like the My Passport for $69, 2 terabyte hard drive My Passport. And then the LaCie that I mentioned that does not have waterproofing but is shock absorbent is at $110 right now. So it's interesting if you're a photographer, if you're a construction manager, somewhere where there's going to be environmental hazards, this is something to look into because it can save your data if something happens.
If you're going to Mexico and you want to keep it in your pants.
Yes.
How rugged was the case, Jim? Was it pretty solid, or was it just sort of like a pretty thin aluminum? Or
it was pretty solid. It's an aluminum exterior, and it was a pretty solid feel. It's got a nice little bit of heft to it. And then these end panels here are plastic. But there's 2 layers of them. There's an outer layer that kind of seals it from water, and then if you can peel that off, you see the inner layer. So it's pretty well put together. Like I said, I have no issue believing that it would completely protect you from a single submersion, accidental submersion. It's just when it gets into being hit multiple times, things may start to fall apart there. It's meant, it's meant to die to save your data.
It's meant for spill protection, not hanging out in a pond.
Exactly. Yes. Although it could hang out in a pond for a few minutes and you'd be all right. Like I said, not for everybody, but don't buy this if you're going to put it on your desk at your office. But if you need
I don't know. On your desk, I might want it.
Okay, fair enough.
So there's water flying around there, apparently.
A little bit, yes. Other fluids potentially as well. Anyway, that's the CalDigit Tough external drive. Moving on to, we got a Corsair power supply review from Lee, the Corsair AX1600i. So this is a beast of a power supply. Now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, the Corsair had a 1500 watt prior to this. Was their maximum capacity?
Yeah, I think it was a 1500 MX.
Okay. And I know, what was that company? EVGA has a 1600 as well for the consumer desktop.
Yeah, they don't have a 12 volt rail like this one.
Yes, this is quite beefy. 133.3 amps on the 12 volt.
Yes, you can arc weld.
Yes, you can.
Off the PCIe slot.
And and plenty of 8-pin PCIe connectors and 6 peripheral SATA connectors. Lots of options there. The one thing I know Lee really liked too is that it does all this on a 15 amp outlet. You don't need to go to 20 to support this this level, and this says it all right here. Look at all those strengths. No weaknesses. No weaknesses at all. He gives it an Editor's Choice Award.
He denied it the gold with all those strengths?
Editor's Choice is the highest award we have. It's above gold. Silver is the lowest. Gold is the middle.
Just
Editor's
like titanium.
Choice.
Yes, we need a titanium rating for the titanium power supplies.
Because that's better than platinum.
Yes.
I sit corrected.
So, if you're building a mining rig, shame on you, but this is something that might help if you're building a really high-end workstation. This will provide all the power you need. And it's from Corsair, and they make very good power supplies. I've had personal luck with their supplies for many years. I know we like them here. I know Lee likes them. So check that out. You guys got any other thoughts on this?
I wish it wasn't fully modular. I do like to see the ATX power plugs being a dedicated plug, because when are you not going to use those?
Well, I guess just to
And especially
allow
with this
you
power
to.
draw.
I'm sorry.
Especially with this power draw, that seems a place where you really, really, really don't want a short to happen. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
a-
lose a couple of percent on
Yeah.
on soldering versus on physical connections versus truly soldered on there.
I mean,
Would've been nice.
I like to have the modular option just because I like to use cables that are exactly the length I'm going to need for the build, and that way I don't have any extra stuff all folded and stuffed in the back of the case or anything. So for there, but yeah,
That's me going through life. I got all kinds of things folded and stuffed into.
you
things.
and me both, brother. You and me both. So check that out. The Corsair AX 1600i 1600 watt power supply.
$450.
Oh, that's right. We didn't touch on the price. $450.
Yeah, that'll make you holler.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. $449.99. MSRP though, so maybe you'll find a deal if the miners ever stop buying all the components. All right. Well, we're going to take a break right now. We've got our very own Ryan Shrout coming in via satellite or something. I don't know. They've rigged something up, but we're going to take a break to thank our sponsors. So take it away, Ryan.
Actually, these bars are really good.
Yes, Alex is eating our sponsor right now.
No, I had it before the show.
Nasty.
I had it before the show. See,
Nasty.
Here it is. See, proof. These things are really good. And you just
They've got all the ingredients right on the
Look.
front.
no bullshit. That's my favorite
No
part.
balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, that's what
I do look for no bullshit in my
yeah.
bars.
Also, no bullshit. Oh, there it is. And it's here. Look, egg whites, peanuts, dates. No bullshit. I don't like
You say
bullshit. in my-
peanuts?
No, peanuts.
Peanuts. Okay.
Peanuts. See?
This will all
Nice.
be edited out of the.
Oh yeah. We're gonna fix this in post.
All right. So we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Let me rephrase that. Are we ready to continue as best as we can?
Sure.
All right. Moving on. Thank you, Ryan. Or, I'm sorry. Let me give you a nice edit point, Alex. 3, 2. Great. Thanks, Ryan, so much for that. And we'll be sure to check out those RX bars. Now, back to the show. We've got the Logitech G560, and which is a speaker system, and the G513, which is a new keyboard they've got. The G560 speakers we've actually got sitting on my desk at the back of the office here. I'm doing a review of them right now, so we'll have that up shortly. But basically, these are, because of course they are, RGB speakers. They've got lights built into the back that kind of bounce off your wall if you've got your desk configured where it's next to the wall. And they've got lights in the front that kind of provide a nice little illumination on the desk surface there. And it's a 2.1 system with a 120 watt amplifier. And it connects via USB to your desktop and then to the Logitech gaming software, where it provides not just random RGB lighting or custom RGB lighting that you can set statically, but it also does a visualization, because as it's running on the system, the Logitech Visualizer app can see what's on your screen. It knows the colors of your display, so it allows it to change dynamically with what's happening on your screen. So as you're gaming, you get sort of that effect. And they've had these kind of things for TVs where you kind of run it through an HDMI pass-through, and it mimics the colors in the backdrop. But this is all through USB.
Bias lighting.
Yes,
rocks.
bias lighting. Yep.
Bias lighting is like you're gaming in a dark room. You put bias lighting behind your monitors, and if you've got the color of what is essentially happening on your screens being projected, not the actual images, just the color, it is so much easier on your eyes. It's really an interesting effect. If you've never experienced it before, it's really good. I mean, it decreases eye strain. It kind of actually increases immersion, because you've got I mean, if you think about your eyes, you've only got one area, like that big on your screen that you can focus on. Everything else gets blurry, and beyond that, you tend to notice colors more than you do distinct objects. And so bias lighting is kind of taking advantage of that. And if you have an active bias lighting system that does this kind of work, it adds a lot to the experience. You may not initially notice it, but when you take it away, it's like, okay, this is a whole different experience. This is awful. Please bring it back, because bias lighting is worth it.
Yeah,
Is it frowned upon if you bring this to a LAN party and point it at the other people?
I'm not up.
Because I could see that working.
Yeah, I'm not up to date on the latest LAN etiquette, but I imagine that might be a potential use for this kind of product. I wonder though, Josh, like, because normally bias lighting is attached directly to the back of the display.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, because I haven't been able to test I'm still doing the audio quality test. We just got it in yesterday, or a few days ago. But so it'll be interesting to see what the effect of having the speakers to the side, where the light is going to be off to the edges, and you'll have sort of a dead zone sort of right in the middle of your monitor. So it'll be interesting to see what, how that compares to display mounted lighting for that bias effect.
Yeah, that's in a strip that's behind the thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But someone might have to test that.
Yes, like I said, I'll look into it as soon as I get to that part of the testing. From what I've seen though, the lighting effects seem pretty cool in just kind of going through the audio section, because they by default they beat to the music. It's an audio visualizer effect, and they seem pretty accurate, pretty good timing on that. So that'll be cool. So be sure to check PCPro.com in the next few days for our review of those. And I believe we also have this keyboard in, although I'm not sure who's on deck to review this. This is the G513 mechanical gaming keyboard. It's got the Romer switches, and it also has that light sync. So this is just like every other company. Logitech has their RGB stuff going through their gaming app, or their what do they call it? The Logitech gaming software program. So with a Logitech keyboard, your Logitech speakers, a Logitech headset, Logitech mouse, you can get all your RGB all synced up, and blind your neighbors and your roommates. And also, I've been told this assures better performance during games. It's like adding stripes to your car. It makes it faster. This makes you better. So the speakers, the G560, are going to be $199, $200, and they'll be available soon. They're available for pre-order right now on Logitech's website. And the G513 keyboard will be $150 when that launches next month. All right. Moving on to another SSD here. We've got the PNY CS900, which is their budget SSD line. This is a new capacity for them. They previously topped out at, 480, I believe. So they've basically doubled the capacity of this line. And it's a standard. It's a SATA-based SSD, 7 millimeters, 3D TLC NAND. The thing here is that it works out to about 24 cents a gig on that 960 model, at least based on Amazon's current pricing. So price is the big factor here. That's what sets it apart. We don't have any in-person testing on this. Just relying on the manufacturer's specs for performance. But a nice cheap option. We're keep driving that price per gig lower. You guys have any thoughts on PNY or on this drive?
Looks like carbon fiber.
It does look like. I will stress, looks like carbon fiber.
Looks like. PNY makes good stuff. They're usually priced where they should be. Sometimes a little higher in MSRP, but otherwise, they make good stuff.
Yeah.
And hey, who doesn't need more SSDs? Maybe Alan.
Alan does not need more SSDs.
Everybody else, they need more SSDs.
Alan has no desk area left. It is just
No.
he just lives in a stack of SSDs now.
I think Alan would argue the opposite. He always requires more SSDs.
Yeah, but you don't listen to an addict. You can't let them self-diagnose.
We seem to feed his habits, so why not?
Well, it keeps them compliant and malleable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Self-diagnosis
Because
and
nobody
enablement
wants
are different things.
nobody wants an out of control Alan. If you've ever seen it, you would never forget it. He's 125 pounds of Tasmanian devil.
Pure fury.
Yes.
Orange Crush fueled.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I keep buying
And McDonald's.
Sunkiss, and I don't think he likes that. I thought they were interchangeable, but he's a Crush man. All right. So this was an interesting story.
No, it wasn't.
Well, it's interesting in that it's
The
priced.
story sucks.
Okay.
Who wrote it? Ken Anderson, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay. Well, Ken's crappy story is the HTC Vive Pro. So we knew that the Pro was coming and everything, but they announced the availability and pricing, and it's not great. It's $800 for just the headset. That doesn't include the controllers, doesn't include the Lighthouse sensors. And this, right now, because of that, and Vive has said this pretty clear, this is not meant for someone who waited the first generation. This is an upsell or an upgrade to current Vive owners because you need those accessories and they don't come separately, at least not officially. You'd have to go through eBay or something. So you're looking at $800 just for the headset, and the headset's better. You know, it's got the higher resolution. It's got the audio built in. It's got the wider, what do they call it? The area you can walk around in. So there's definitely improvements here, but man, $800 to existing customers. What do you guys think about that?
That seems a bit
cheaper.
pricey.
It's cheaper than a GPU. I'll give it that, but
Yeah.
that's not a good thing.
Yeah, people are laughing at the price, and here's the problem: VR has not reached an area where people really want to go out and buy it.
Yeah.
Sure, you can get the Samsung things for your phones, and people pass that around, and it's kind of a novelty. But until we get some real serious killer apps, or some really super popular games that use VR, it's going to be kind of a sideshow for a while. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's exciting. It would be really cool. I'd love to have a Vive or an Oculus, but I'm poor. I need to sell some of the crap in my room and get one.
Josh, you're rich. You're rich in friendship.
Doesn't pay the bills.
You haven't tried yet. You got to mail some of your friends to
That's true. I could start a
HTC.
Patreon. Hey, friends.
There we go.
go fund me.
Yeah, anyway. But you know what? It's a good advancement. And that's what we need in here, so that people will actually develop stuff that won't look like crap, that people won't say, hey, I get dizzy from this, or hey, I've got a screen door effect on this, and it's really kind of annoying. You got all the things in one package, and even though it's a little pricey, it's all kind of there, and it solves a lot of problems. So because of the two cameras, it can do some AR stuff as well if people program it for it.
Yep.
We'll see. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, because it's exciting. I mean, I remember watching Lawnmower Band back in 1992.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they put on those goggles, and they had a whole new world, and they had cyber sex, and never mind.
They were a simpler
Stormy
time.
Daniels? What?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think the next one's the more interesting ones, what Toby and Qualcomm are doing.
Yeah, let's jump into
'Cause,
that. Where'd it go?
Foveated rendering is something that could really, really help kick VR off, because now it knows where you're looking with your eyes, as opposed to doing the head turn thing, and playing with the Oculus Rift, it's just not quite right. So what they're talking about with this new one, and Toby's been doing eye tracking for well over a decade, probably closer to 2 of them. They've sort of worked together with Qualcomm to get this new prototype the 845 mobile VR reference platform, to properly be able to know what you're looking at, skip rendering shite that you're not looking at, and give you the hand-eye coordination that seems, at least for me, to be missing from the Oculus that I played with. Because it doesn't really track this in the same way. From what they're talking with this, it really does sound like with Slam and the what they're calling their 6 degrees of freedom, it just sounds really damn interesting. As long as it's not $845 after the name of the processor.
Right. And this also, the Tobii stuff, I mean, it really works. We reviewed a Tobii monitor, a gaming monitor earlier, or actually I guess it was last year, so late last year. The eye tracking tech works astonishingly well. There's a couple situations where it gets defeated by lighting or the angle of your face or whatever, but using it on one of the displays that they had paired with, I think it was an Acer display, it's kind of shocking how quick and responsive and accurately it can track with optimal conditions. And I imagine putting it right on your face, they're able to really optimize the placement of their sensors so that it'll always work very well because they know where your eyeballs are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool there. Hey, Josh, you got anything on this?
I know where my eyeballs are.
Do you?
Yeah, I had to Google Stormy Daniels.
Oh.
My eyes are up here.
My eyes are up here. Yes, they are.
What's happening? What's happening to this world? Okay. Moving on to what are we talking about here?
Next story up is
There it
the rendering stuff.
You move things around on me.
Larrabee!
Yep. Okay. So, yes, ray tracing in DirectX for consumers. How about that?
Huzzah!
Indeed. So, Josh, you want to take the lead on this one?
Let me clear my throat.
Okay.
Hem.
Or
I
Jeremy?
saved you all by muting that because it was horrific. Still getting over a little bit of a flu. Had some beer. Some other things. But yeah, Microsoft has announced a ray tracing extension for DirectX 12. DirectX Ray Tracing. DXR. How do you like that, TLA? 3-letter acronym. Anyway, ray tracing is well known. It was one of the first kind of 3D graphics thing, but it was incredibly computationally intensive. And there's a reason why we haven't seen real-time ray tracing, because it looks bad as compared to modern rasterizing with shading. So what?
Oh, come on. I don't mind my
here,
half a frame a second. It's pretty.
What's that?
I don't mind my half a frame a second.
Yeah, exactly. It looks bad. Well, it's just the rate is slow. But now we're getting into the amount of GPU power and software development where they're able to leverage not only some tricks from rasterization, but also in real-time ray tracing to help with things like shadows and reflections and some other effects in there to give you a pretty fast and good looking output. It's not quite, modern movie magic, but it's something that you could say, hey, I could see this happening in 2005 as a standalone, or maybe even 2010 as, something that, Pixar, whoever did, the quality of the lighting, quality of the shadows, quality of just the effects, and it's doing it in real time. So there are a couple of videos out there, and one in particular of the stormtroopers. It was done on, I believe, 4 NVIDIA V100 cards, and it looks great. I mean, just the quality is fantastic. And it moves good. I mean, you can tell that it's not real because they use kind of more cartoony characters and a couple of different effects in that way. But boy, it looks great. It looks good. And this is something that we've needed for a while, because as GPUs have grown much more advanced, much more powerful, you can do different things in how they use that math to project onto a screen. And this is one area. It's not true ray tracing. It's a combination of multiple things, but it does have a ray tracing basis in the areas that are most important. So it's really exciting to see. It's something that in, maybe a couple of years, 3 to 4 years, we'll actually see implemented fully in a game. In 2 years, we might actually see a partial implementation. Say someone does some shadows in ray tracing, so you don't have to worry about soft edges and other stuff, because that's all kind of taken care of with this ray tracing algorithm that's done on your GPU. And in 2 years, we're going to have faster graphics parts. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's a good foundation, and it's something they can build on from here on out to give us better graphics throughout the years. So this is exciting. It's something that we've been waiting for a while. Since we've heard about programmable GPUs back in the early 2000s, we've always kind of wondered, can you implement ray tracing on something that is just floating point intensive, something that can just grind through this stuff? Can you get the software up there that can really utilize this floating point potential? And now we're at kind of that point, and we're seeing the results, and it's really neat and exciting if you like 3D graphics.
And they got customers. Frostbite, 3D Mark, Unreal Engine 4, and Unity already say they can support it programmatically. Hardware-wise, yeah, we might be, as you say, a generation or two off, unless you like going out and buying $3,500 now, the Titan Vs?
3,000. Well,
okay.
US dollars.
Cheap then.
Yeah.
Cheap.
But I mean, speaking of that, the related article that Ryan posted is that NVIDIA's got the hardware support for it in Volta. So some people are speculating, does this mean, because there was some thought that Volta, the Volta architecture was not going to come to the consumer brand, like that they would skip it, or, because of either their performance lead or the mining craze, they weren't going to refresh their cards until the next generation. So do you think this means that there's a good chance or a better chance that Volta does hit the consumer space this year?
Who are you asking?
Anybody.
Anybody?
The ether.
I don't know. We've got something coming up in the next 6 months. Don't exactly know what. I guess it's Volta.
Yeah,
but
it would make sense considering this announcement. That they're because they came out and specifically pointed out their support for this Microsoft.
Yeah, there have been rumors. Well, there have been honest rumors, because they've stopped production on certain parts in January, and you think there's about 24 weeks of fabrication time from start to finish, and that's what, 6 months?
Yeah, about.
So maybe around July, August, we'll see some kind of refresh. I know people were hoping for April, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to
CPU wise, it will, but I don't think
CPUs
will be running this.
We're going to see a refresh in April. There you go.
Well, stay tuned. We'll see what happens with NVIDIA GPUs and this RTX for GameWorks stuff.
Ryzen 2000 now with ray tracing.
Right.
Be nice.
It would be nice.
Well, it depends on the Vega attached to it. It's supposed to do ray tracing.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, another interesting technology being implemented into the APIs, Microsoft and their Windows Machine Learning, or WinML API. So they announced it a couple weeks ago, but the news this week out of GDC is that it's going to be used for gaming. So what do you guys think about this?
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that.
Yeah, well, ideally or initially, it's going to be focused on things like physics, simulations. how are gamers interacting with the physics simulations, and how is the engine interacting with the results of those simulations, but also
And what are they doing to that poor teddy bear?
yeah, well, better not to ask. And then also they'll use it in actual in-game AI thing, helping to program better responses for AI characters, AI players in games, and by being a Microsoft API, this is poised to be very, very easy to implement for developers.
Is Derek Smart still alive?
Yes.
He could actually finally have the game where all objects have their own AI.
Potentially.
You may not remember the Battleship series.
I do, and I remember Derek Smart at
Wow,
the
who
beginning
could
of the
forget that,
internet
man?
era, through about 2007.
Yep.
But you know what? You got to give the dude credit. He
Oh, hell
calmed
yeah.
down.
I played the games. I loved
and
them.
what's that?
I played the games, and I loved them, as horrible as they were to you.
Yeah.
He was a smart man. But
yeah. There,
not a
and
people
you know what?
person.
He has now become kind of the elder statesman of software guys. And so when you see him, it's just not an instant flame war. He's actually saying things that make sense.
Did he have
I
an
mean-
iron bar shot through his head or something to change his personality?
No, I think it was just the amount of flaming that he got for about a decade.
Well, he gave as well as he got.
Yeah, but eventually it's got to affect you. You stare into the abyss long enough.
Which game was it that shipped they were all broken in some endearing way, but which one was completely unfinished?
E.T.?
No, the battleship games.
Battle Cruiser 2000.
Battle Cruiser.
or-
Yeah, Battle Cruiser, not Battleship.
Right, Battle Cruiser. Was it? But there was one that was like he said to the developer, "Hey, we need another year," and they said no, and then just shipped it.
I can't remember.
It was legitimately completely broken out of the box, as I recall. But it might have been the well, whatever. Look it up. It's an interesting story behind those games. All right. Speaking of product releases, as Jeremy suggested, new stuff's coming. Oh, there it is.
It's within arm's reach. Strong work.
You guys are very good with the let me see what I have under the desk shtick.
I believe that was the one.
All right. So yes, new hardware this or next month, not GPUs, but CPUs from AMD and Intel. Things are heating up there. Digitimes has some naming conventions for the Zen 2 stuff. So we got Ryzen 2000 and the Intel Coffee Lake refresh coming up next month. Expected. I think both were expected. No surprises here.
So did we drop the Zen Plus refresh? Is it going straight to Zen 2 now?
I think Zen Plus was a naming thing, wasn't it?
I don't know. It keeps coming up in rumors, but now it seems we're going straight to Zen 2, which I'm okay with. But
Or I might have misspoke there. It's not Zen 2. It's Ryzen 2000.
oh, it's right there on
Yeah.
the chart right there now.
Yeah, it's Zen Plus. They consider it's the 14 nanometer plus stuff is
Okay, so there it is.
Zen
Yeah, it's under
Plus,
Zen.
and that's what's coming out. 7 nanometer Zen 2 next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that chart's
Zen
misleading.
3, who the hell knows? 2020 apparently. But you see how they fudge that timeline?
Yeah.
They don't have any real definition to it. I hate it. But hey, at least 14 nanometer Zen came out in 2017. Huzzah.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything else, anything in particular about the Intel side of things you guys have thoughts on?
Boy, they're kind of a mess, but they have so much engineering talent.
Well, like I
And
said,
that-
It'll be
Intel's-
Coffee
it's
Lake,
not
not
broken.
Cannon Lake, and that's what we're hoping for.
yeah. Well, so like I said, expect no big news here. These were expected around this time frame. So check back next month. I'm sure we'll get review samples in of all those products, and Ryan and Ken, mostly Ken, will get to work on reviewing those for you. All right. Second to last news story here regarding the that sort of real weird security mess that AMD went through last week.
CTS Labs.
Yeah, the stock manipulators / security researchers.
Yeah.
So AMD, surprised, Ryan wrote this up, and he says AMD should get a lot of credit here. They had these issues that came up, these allegedly very serious security vulnerabilities dropped in their lap less than 24 hours before this group went public. Again, because this group was clearly behind stock manipulation or corporate sabotage or whatever you want to call it. They didn't have altruistic motives. So AMD got this thrown at them, very, very quickly, and had very, very little time to respond. And they were already coming forward with a timetable for fixing these vulnerabilities. So we don't have all the details yet, but Mark Papermaster was quoted saying in a blog that they've got a handle on what the issues are, and the patches will be coming shortly.
And it shouldn't be too bad to fix, as long as they, understand the issues with the secure OS that they're using and the stuff that they kind of stacked up upon it. The only one that they really can't fix is Chimera. And that's, some back doors that have potentially been exposed by ASMedia on the chipset. But in terms of everything else, well, I guess mitigating patches released through BIOS update, no performance impact. Well, never mind. Chimera is going to be covered as well. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, well, and Chimera is also one where you've already infected the system with something and got elevated access. Then you can play with the memory.
Yeah. But anyway,
all
of these things you cannot get to without having administrative access in the first place. And if you've got administrative access, your install is screwed. I mean, people can install rootkits and whatever that, you're not going to get rid of unless you do some real serious digging. But this does mitigate the issues that CTS Labs found. And so, it's not as big of a deal as you would think, but it's still potentially something that they could patch up and fix and do better on. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, always good to get this stuff out there publicly. And you've got a question about this very topic coming up on the mailbag, Josh.
No.
Oh yeah. It's
no.
Just
okay.
Just do it. But yeah, it's the question is the what should be the norm? What kind of advanced information should the manufacturer get before it gets sent out in the wild? And we had, was it 6 months for Spectre and Meltdown?
Most of them, the
so.
Security company figures it out. They notify the company. They give the company 6 months to do a public disclosure. And if they haven't after that 6 months, they're like, all right, well, someone's got to tell people, and they do it.
Yeah.
I see no issue with that timeline whatsoever, even if it is, and as we're about to jump into, something you can't fix, but you can acknowledge and say, yeah, we're working on it.
And that's a good segue because Intel could not, they could mitigate and they could work around some of the issues with Spectre and Meltdown, but they couldn't fix them completely. But they will be going forward with the 2018 processors based on a statement they made this week. So, so the new stuff coming out, they were able to get in and change things early enough in the product development cycle, and hopefully these won't be an issue going forward for new Intel processors.
Cannon Lake, they're going to put a block between the user space and the machine space. So in theory, coming in as a user, you no longer have the ability to look at the prediction tables and, sort of read the RAM. We'll see how well it works.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't AMD have these checks already in place in their current architecture, which is why they were not vulnerable to it? The speculative prefetch actually would check the permissions level of the process calling it, didn't it?
Supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real. I mean, there's a slight performance delta, but
Yeah, they didn't get hit nearly as hard as Intel because of just their front end and how they handle speculative.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on how that develops. Now I just need 1 second to pull up our picks of the
1,
week.
2, 3,
That's the wrong show.
4, 5.
6,
Oh,
7,
no,
8,
no,
9,
now you've done
10,
it.
11, 12.
Didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, that's enough. Shut up. All right. I got
Oh,
it.
we can kill time. We can kill time.
Kill time like the wind.
Okay, so let's dive into our picks of the week. Jeremy, you're up.
Yeah, sure. Put me on the spot. So many months ago, you probably heard about Al's Love of Abduction, the guys who created Myst way back in the mists of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there on the Humble Bundle this week with a couple of other interesting games. If you wait 5-6 days, you'll get an extra one. But for $15, you can get Abduction, another 9 games, and support PC Perspective because we are a partner of Humble Bundle as well, as is Water, the charity that gives people water, which you need.
So they just walk around with a hose and just spray them down?
Spray them down.
Okay.
Yeah. You get to drink from the fire hose.
Do you know that I don't need to buy another new game for another 4 years because
Neither
the way
do
I've
I,
been
but-
playing them.
Well, it is awesome to see these bundles. Sometimes they just don't have the right mix of games, but usually you get a pretty good selection of games for not a lot of money. And like Jeremy said, you can, part of your purchase goes towards a charity. So that is awesome. And Abduction is a cool game. So yeah, check that out. And just make sure to use our link though, because if you use our link, we get credit. Doesn't cost you anything extra. So thank you very much for that. Josh, what do you got for us?
So I had to get some headphones to my child for his birthday because he's like 16 now, and I don't know how that
Are you
happened.
kidding me?
It was only
16?
yesterday. He was 6, and we brought him back home from China.
Hell yeah.
Now he's 16. How the hell did that happen?
I don't
But he
know,
has
Josh.
needs. He has wants. And good audio is one of them.
Oh,
And
thank
with
God. I
audio
thought you were talking about
RGB.
something else.
What?
And he is
Nothing.
16.
We're not going there. Anyway,
He is.
G633 Artemis Spectrum. Got them. They're wired, rechargeable. They're nicely implemented. Well, no, they're not rechargeable. I'm sorry. They're wired in 2 ways. One, you've got the analog. That'll give you like surround sound. And then you've got the USB connection, which will do the full 5.1 or 7.1, whichever they decide to try to fool you with. My child uses the USB, so he doesn't have any kind of sound card enabled there. But it is a good sounding pair of headphones for less than $100. They seem pretty durable. They've got RGB, which makes him happy because he likes lighting and crap because he's 16. You can turn it off if you want, but they're comfortable. They've got good sound. Sebastian reviewed these and they came out pretty well. And again, it's $96, under 100. They're a nice set of headphones to have.
It looks like the headset or the microphone is detachable.
No, it just folds into
Oh, it just
itself.
folds. Okay.
Oh, okay. It's actually a better design than the detachable ones sometimes get upset. after that 30th time you plug them in and out.
No, it's good, and plus they've got all the little controls. If you're doing by USB, you have all the controls on the back side that you can apply to whatever function you want, and plus the volume. So it's handy. It works well. You just got to kind of memorize which buttons are which, and you're good to go. They're comfortable, good sound.
Awesome. All right, and for me, I'm picking obviously nothing new here, but it's Microsoft Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass. This has been out for quite a while now. It's their monthly subscription for Xbox games. But what I didn't appreciate about when I first heard about it was that with Play Anywhere, any Play Anywhere games, and Play Anywhere is the feature where Microsoft lets you play certain games on both the console and the PC. So any Play Anywhere games that are in Game Pass, you get on your PC right through the Windows Store. So that kind of stinks because you got to go through Windows Store. But still, so I logged into my Windows Store one day because I don't use it, and in my available apps list were all these games, mostly first-party stuff. But speaking of first-party, Microsoft is now doing day-and-date releases for their first-party games in Game Pass. So Sea of Thieves just came out, and I haven't played it yet. I haven't had a chance to play it yet on my PC, but right before the show started, I started downloading it through the Windows Store for the
Pac-Man?
Pac-Man. Oh, yes, Pac-Man.
DX Plus.
DX Plus. So Sea of Thieves is out now. You got State of Decay coming up. I love the first State of Decay game, so the second one will be available. Crackdown 3, which is probably going to be a disaster, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. All those are available. You pay the $10 a month, and you get them on PC and on your console, as well as all the console exclusive Xbox One and Xbox 360 games.
Wow.
So it's pretty good. I mean, they want you to, just subscribe and forget about it and just pay them $120 a year. And if you buy a lot of games, that works out pretty well. But if I'm a single player gamer primarily, because nobody will play games with me. But with that, there's no terms or contracts or subscription cancellations or anything. So you can subscribe for $10, play Sea of Thieves, see if you like it, or play Crackdown when it comes out, and then cancel. And then you've played the full game for $10. And then the next game comes out that you're interested in, you subscribe, play it, cancel. So if you're into, you don't mind managing it that way, it's a great, I think it's a great system. And Microsoft had to do it. They were so far behind in their console in their console performance this generation in terms of market share. They had to do something. But right now, a program like this really sets the console apart, and you get the stuff on your PC. So if you haven't looked at it, check it out, at least to try out Sea of Thieves. It's super fun, and you can play it on your PC, so you don't have to be a console peasant or whatever the label is.
Do you play World of Warships?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, if you ever wanted to play,
okay,
you can join me. All right, bye-bye.
I'm super excited.
In the Navy.
You'll sail the 7 seas.
All right. Well, guys,
Village people.
That's the show. And I really want to send a special thank you to those who stuck with it when they turned their stream on or started playing this podcast, and you saw the three of us and you stuck with it. Gold star for you. Thank you so much.
You know what? Some people just like to watch a train wreck.
They do, but we'll take it.
And there's the masochist crowd. They're big with us.
That's already sort of like the baseline, though. So this is like a step beyond that. But thank you guys for hanging with us. The regular crew, most of them should be back next week. Like I said, join us every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, here at pcper.com/live. Sign up for the mailing list at pcper.com/subscribe so you know when we're going to go live. And I guess, what else am I missing, Alex? What else does Ryan usually say at the end of the show?
See you next week.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Goodbye.
Other people will see you next week.
That's all, folks.
See you guys. Thanks.
That was very exciting.
That sounded terrible.
It's fine.
It was good. Worked. I still like the tiki torches in the background.
You go to one Tiki Torch enthusiast conference in Virginia. in Virginia, of all places, and it's just
And you're branded for life?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just there to have a good time, talk about
Not a long time.
different fluids that you can use. You got the citronella stuff. You got the stuff that smells like pine needles. Oh shit!
You know, the 1950s called, and they want it all back because it's been ruined in 2017 and 2018.
Oh, what's happening?
Well, at least it ain't Kim Mitchell asking for his patio lanterns back.
Tiki torches. You have them.
Mm-hmm.
Them some nice torches.
When's the last time you
But you know
tested
what? You're
the
not
fire
wearing an
suppression
ice
in the
on that
office?
shirt.
There you go.
It's a good question. I don't. We've got a fire
You
extinguisher
better do it now.
in a
See what
box over
happens.
there.
Anyhow,
So
Fellas,
Alex, this is a show where I
I
think
know it's supposed to be an after show, but I'm
Nah, it's fine.
done. I can't. I've given all I had to the cause for this past hour and 21 minutes.
you gonna be okay, Josh.
No, I'm not.
No,
We're
it's
all
only
going to
Wednesday.
die. Every single one of us.
In all seriousness, do you want me to force Alan to do the mailbag?
No, I'll take care of it. I mean, it's probably going to be recorded tomorrow night late. That's okay. You'll have it by Friday morning.
Okay. Usually, it goes up Friday morning. But
Yeah, I know. But what? No, all recorded late and uploaded. But
okay.
if you get in early in the morning, it'll be there.
All right.
Is that going to be okay, or is that?
It'll work.
What's your schedule like?
I mean, I normally try to get it done before I leave on Thursday nights, but don't worry about it. You do what you got to do, man.
I
I'll
guess
just-
I could do it semi-drunk right now for the next 20 minutes. So I'll just.
Whatever you got to do.
I'll talk
if-
to my family. I go to the bathroom. I'll record it, and I'll start uploading.
All right. And if that doesn't
Please
work,
do it in that order.
I'll take a static image of your face and do what late night show did the lips with the, they use a picture of somebody and then make their lips talk.
Yeah. In the year 2000, I don't know, maybe.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
So I got Thunderbirds or Go
later,
going in my
guys.
head now. Thanks.
Thanks, Josh.
All right, boys. That wasn't so bad.
I think it went off pretty well.
You're all too kind. We're gonna get so much crap for this.
We get crap all the time. How's this different?
Never read the comments.
But I kind of hate myself, and so it's like a self-destructive addiction.
Well, no, it's perfect. Like we all sort of bring that self-hatred to the stage, and it just sort of comes together.
That's what binds us together is the hatred.
Yes.
It's the hatred.
You've got to be a complete egomaniac or a depressed idiot to do something like this.
Why not both?
All right, guys.
See you, Jeremy.
Have a good night.
Good night. Are we still live?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Not for
hope
long.
everyone else enjoyed it. Please leave your hateful comments in an orderly fashion so that I can read them all. And if it's a multi-part comment about my face, my voice, my weight, my ethnicity, whatever, group them together so I can see them all and appreciate them as a whole. It's like listening to singles instead of the full album. You need to listen to the full album to appreciate it. So thank you.
You need to have the album experience in
Yes.
your hateful comments.
Do me that kindness. But yeah, I guess I don't even have a chat window open here, so I'll have to tune in later.
I thought you had an IRC chat window open on your laptop.
I did, and then I closed it to try to find, by accident, trying to get the show notes. Man, I was not efficient with the management of this stuff.
It worked
Awesome.
out.
Well, anything else you want to talk to the chat about?
No, not really. I'm actually going to try to get some sleep tonight.
Okay.
I have been cutting things down afterwards after the podcast, but I think with this one, I'm just going to come in the morning and do it.
Oh, there'll be nobody here. 'Cause
I know.
I bet you the way Alan was describing his symptoms, he's going to be out for like the rest of the week. He might come in to steal some hardware, and then he'll go back to his house.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I think it's allergy." It's like, "No, dude, don't you dare come in here being sick." I'm going down to Mexico tomorrow. I am not catching what he has.
Oh, you were going to Florida.
I'm going into Florida and then on to Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us. You'll see the regular crew next week, and have a great night. Bye-bye.